But
Alrighty. Well, you got a speaker solo to do. Mickey's all alone here.
here to die.
Your little corner that's in the middle.
I'm in the middle of the stream too. Just
So, speaker. You teleported away and you met with Jackson. He gave you some seaweed to eat. And then together you guys stepped off of the docks into the ocean as people are like, what the crap's going on? And under the water you went, and taking his hand, he whisked you away. You went rushing through the water. At first, it seems like it is incredible speed, but you don't feel the force of it around you. A familiar feeling of space around you shifting and changing as you rush through these waters. Got to bring light in. Let's bring up water. That works, I guess. Make that brighter. Is this blue enough? Jeez.
certainly blue.
I don't like that. that is painful. Not a fun blue. Alright. Ocean Morning. Sounds like that could be nice.
It's very orange.
Let's do that.
You immediately go back to it.
Gonna turn the brightness down a little from there. Nah, I don't like it. I changed my mind. Let's go to that one. I think this one might work. I'll try that one out. It's also very blue. But anyway, so down into the waters you go. The feeling of space around you warping and changing subsides, you find yourself deep under the water. It is, for a second, you can feel like the pressure on you, but then it goes away. The magic of this seaweed stuff that you had eaten fully taking hold, so that you were able to survive in these the high pressures of the water, and it is very dark, but you have dark vision.
Correct.
But in the distance, you can see a massive, expansive city under the water. It is elements of tall spires and pointy buildings and such, made out of this silver metallic color that has been covered by water life, by water plants, coral, seaweed, things like that. Bury it, and it's a distance away to where you can't see extreme detail, but you can see that it is lit up by bioluminescent plants that are growing on it and floating about it. I am not liking this lighting either. It's too blue. It needs to be less blue.
I just realized something.
What's up?
Hadebold offered to put me in touch with Jackson. That's kind of weird with all the events that have happened.
Mm. So, Jackson kind of comes to us. As you guys kind of appear there, you sit out in the distance, and Jackson's like, "So, before we go any further, welcome to Vanaheim, hidden realm of the god. Of the Vanir, the gods try to destroy, and kept a little secret, little safe from them. Well, they know it's here, they just can't get in. But yeah, you're safe. Here, there's. Before I bring you in there, like a few things I should let you know. There's a lot of different things that live there. So there's a few survivors of the Vanir, then there's kind of like their offspring. Some like me, some like not me. Depends on how much of the adaptation blood is still within them. But there's also a lot of creatures in there. They're not hostile. A lot of them will look probably to your eyes things that would want to tear your flesh and eat you, but trust me, they're not going to do that.
Right.
Also, you look hilarious as a wet bird. Anyway.
Can't do much about it now.
Oh, no. So. It is... The ones who are in charge here is... there it is. Is the Sea King, also now the god of the sea after we defeated Nord. So, and then his wife is wife. Call her wife. Sudril. But they don't know I brought you here. It'll be fine. We have a place where we keep other people who needed to hide from the gods. But we'll just have to I'll have to talk to them, to 100% make it A-okay and stuff like that. But yeah. We can go a little bit closer, and you can check it out, and we'll go and talk to the Sea King to see if it's A-okay for you to stay, and if so, we can get you somewhere comfortable, and I can talk to you about everything a lot. I mean, don't feel like you have to join us in any crusade or anything like that. Not everyone here is that. A lot of people here are people who are just trying to escape from the eyes of the gods and laying low until they can, go out and about. But, I mean, you seem like a pretty capable guy, and we could really use a hand of someone like you. Especially someone who didn't instantly get freaking almost completely knocked out right away from Thor. Ugh, that hurt. I still feel the pain. It's reverberating from my crotch, through my whole body. Anyway, let's go. Now this helps you breathe underwater and stuff, but it's here. Grab onto my hand again so that we can swim faster.
Grab on his hand.
So last I checked, most birds can't really swim that well.
Not particularly.
And water won't press up against you, but as he motion water, you feel yourself moving through the water, and the water's going around you. It seems like it's kind of going around you and then pushing behind you, not crushing into your face. You guys swim forward very, very quickly. You mostly being dragged behind him. And getting closer and closer to the city, it is massive, absolutely massive. It is extending further than the lights could show in the bioluminescent light could show in the darkness. It just extends outward all around. As you get closer, you see these various types of creatures. There is large, hulking, humanoid-like creatures that seem like a mix of a person and different various like predator fish and such. Then there are other ones that are smaller and thinner, that move more quickly and such, more humanoid than the previous ones, but still have fish-like characteristics to them. Then there are those that are essentially mermaids and mermen that are swimming about. On top of that, there is various kinds of sea life. Fish are swimming around these people like they're like that it's normal that they're there and such. There's even some larger creatures. If you see a tentacled creature in the distance that is vast, like it's hard to tell exactly its size, but that is probably the biggest creature you have ever seen in your... Well, you've seen a primordial titan, so almost the biggest creature you have ever seen in your life. Definitely the biggest underwater, at least, but you haven't spent much time underwater. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, everywhere is ocean life. Everywhere, there are colors and such of various types. It is just buzzing with activity. Critters avoid you as you're being dragged to the city, as you are an unfamiliar creature among them. But a lot of people stop and watch you as you are being led over and down into the city. The structures of the city, it looks like it... Actually, do you have knowledge you do have knowledge engineering, right?
I do, yes.
Go ahead and roll that for me.
12.
12. So, like I said, the structures here are made out of some silver metallic material, and mostly overgrown, but give you with that rule is that it looks like it wasn't made for ocean life. The way the structures are designed and such, it looks like it'd be made for above water. But yet, here it is, underneath the water. There are various other humans, that some of which look fully human of various of different races. Like there's some like human Saxon, Norse, or Nahuatl. There's orc or elf and such like that. There's various different other races here, and they look mostly their race, but then they have very slight most of them have very slight fish characteristics to them. Like some might have webbed hands and feet, others might have gills or something like that. But other than those few characteristics, they are still very humanoid, they're like their race.
I bet they're ripped.
Oh yeah, like most people in here are pretty muscular. Jackson always managed to find a way to not be too muscular, I'm pretty sure. What's his
You don't have to be strong to be fit.
Oh, I mean, yeah, I mean,
You all like you just gotta consider.
Constitution's freaking high.
Well, yeah, he's a kineticist.
Yeah. But yeah, all of them are fit. Some of them are quite, muscular, but a lot of them are very fit. Like, they're burning all of the calories all the time. The garments that they're wearing are various things that, can only be that can survive long term under the water.
Mm-hmm.
Most, stuff like, like sort of sea creature skin or scales or something made into clothing primarily.
Scales would probably work.
Yeah, like Jackson, he's wearing like fish scale clothing. But yeah, leading you through here, there is people who are meeting who meet in areas that are either connected to or like chained to a building or the ground or something like that, where there are kind of like fully enclosed. It looks like kind of like a basket in a way, but it's made out of coral, and it actually like opens up, and inside a guy like one of the like a fish dude grabs out like a little crab or something, holds it over to a guy, and the guy kind of inspects it and nods and stuff like that as you swim by. There's people that are cleaning off aspects of parts of a building, or like tending to coral and the underwater plant life in here to like kind of like someone would tend to wildlife in like a neighborhood kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Towards the direction you're going, you see ahead of you a massive tower. Something of note is actually a lot of the structures here and such. They seem heavily damaged in some way. Most of them look like a whole section has been broken off or is missing. Some of it is collapsed into rubble and whatnot. Like it looks like it had undergone some sort of heavy damage from something. But yeah, in the direction that you're going is a massive tower. Essentially, it has this series of towers, I guess. But it has this center tower, whatever, that goes up, and then it goes to a very sharp point. Like, I'm talking, if you got close up to it, it goes to like tiny point. Most of the roofs and such of buildings and towers tend to do that. Always going to like sharp angles and points. And then branching off of there, picture it kind of like, this way to put it is like Castlevania's towers.
Okay.
Not like having the parts going down there, but having like it
flights.
has like bridges that go to other spires, or
Mm.
like tunnel like sections or whatever that go off to these other spire things that go up as well, as it's elevated there. And yeah, is there anything you're wanting to say, do, check out specifically, whatever, while you're moving through here?
I don't think so. Speaker's still kind of in post-battle shock at the moment.
Jackson mentioned be like, so, what do you think of this place so far?
It's beautiful in its own way.
Yeah.
It reminds me of what I remember of home.
Home looked like this?
We had a tendency to build up high in the mountains.
Yeah, the Vanner really like building up really tall things. Like, you'd be less likely to have like a you know, like a big house that covers lots of ground that's only one story. Instead, it would be like covers less ground and is like 50 stories kind of thing. They really like to build up. Makes sense for your people because you're birds.
Yes.
They weren't birds. I don't know why they did that. So many stairs. Thankfully, we can just swim up now instead of having to go upstairs and stuff.
I can tell that this does not look like the city was meant for underwater.
No. Vanaheim definitely was not underwater. An entire realm above water until the gods kind of got... They saw the Vanir as competition, and so they conquered them, and then there were Vanir rebellions and such, and then peace was trying to be made. That went horribly wrong, and then the gods tried to destroy all of Vanaheim, and then they had to try to get Vanaheim away, and ended up going wrong as the gods interfered, and they ended up here. That is a brief summary of it, but yeah, definitely was not meant to be underwater.
Why were the Vanir seen as competition?
Because they became powerful. The Vanir and the Aesir are like, I mean, they were a lot alike. Back in long time ago, there are actually still some Vanir gods who basically have forfeited their history and whatnot, and essentially become Aesir. They grew to be very powerful, capable of things that very similar to the gods. Well, sorry, not gods. We don't like calling them gods here. They're Aesir or Asgardians. And the Aesir didn't like that at all. They saw us as a threat to their power. As a threat to their power, and subjugated the Vanir. There's actually a few buildings, like that one over, like you can't really see right now. We kind of knocked it in half, pointing it out. There's like a remnant of what looks like a massive, dirtied golden, what looked like it probably would have been a keep, that has, where like it's basically was mostly destroyed and toppled down, and then also overgrown with water life now. That over there and many others, they set up massive fortresses. I'm talking like they destroyed miles worth of land to set up their fortresses there, and a whole lot of different places. And always made them bigger, always made them taller than any building within line of sight, so that their authority would be seen and known and stuff like that. Yeah. But yeah, and we got time. It's a long ways to swim over there, so I guess I'll tell a little bit more now. But yeah, so the at the time, their leader, Queen Sudril, she basically was trying to, keep her people safe and okay and stuff like that. And people Vanir were married off to Aesir to join them in their pantheon and stuff like that to help keep the peace. And a lot of us were used for many things. Something that the Vanir are like, our shtick is adaptation. We're really good at adapting to things. And AC really liked that. It's very useful when you can adapt to like any environment and whatnot, and in like any conditions. And so they used them for that for a while, but then people started to revolt. A fortress was destroyed here, fortress destroyed there. uprisings started to occur. The Vanir did not like that, and so they came down with Iron Fist to stop them. And the leaders of the Vanir brought the Aesir in to talk to them and try to find peace, and it did not go well. One of the Vanir one of the Vanir set up a trap for them to try to slay some of them. It went wrong, and then the Aesir were set on destruction at that point, as they had proved too much of a threat. And a buddy of mine and his light elf friend at the time were Archmage, essentially Archmage, and if you stick around, you'll meet him. His name's Alderman. Sometimes he goes as Shattered Shell, but we're trying to work him out of the habit of calling himself that. But yeah, him and his friend Arklin were working on mass teleporting the entire realm to our own dimension. The gods interfered. It went wrong. We were like on the brink of the entire realm being destroyed by them. All they were able to save was the capital city, and it ended up down here. Almost every single survivor drowned like right away. I mean, or died from the water pressure. We adapt, but not like instantly. It's not instant. And only you were able to make it out alive. That doesn't stop the gods from trying to hunt any survivors, though. Man, I keep calling them the gods. I'm supposed to call them gods, but it's so ingrained that it's hard. It's been very hard to work out. But the Aesir tried very hard to make sure that there weren't any other survivors. But hey, us descendants of them are still alive, so they failed. Suck it.
Stupid. It sounds a bit like the Vanir brought the destruction on themselves. Not at first, but to set a trap and strike when, after making attempts for peace.
I mean, they were subjugated for thousands of years under the thumb of the Asgardians. No one wanted that, and we didn't do anything to proc the war. They didn't do anything to proc the war to begin with. It was just because grew too powerful.
I'm not disagreeing. That is the one fault I could find of the Vanir, is that
trying to set a trap to free themselves.
If you are attempting to have talks of peace, but instead strike back and create more war.
Do you know who was leading the negotiation for the Aesir?
I assume someone not qualified.
Thor.
I assumed right.
Exactly. With just the interactions you had with him, I'm sure you can understand how poorly those negotiations would have gone for us if we did get peace.
Yes.
We weren't his precious, they weren't his precious Midgard humans or anything like that. We were people that challenged his power. There was no way we would be able to make true peace. It would just be how much more deeply are we going to be under their thumb so that we won't be destroyed. Yeah. Hey, but not all of them are bad. Most of them. Not all of them. Heimdall's pretty cool, actually. Even though he, is looking for us, he's still a pretty cool guy. Him and I, we got something special.
Surprising to hear.
Yeah, it's gonna be really unfortunate when we end up needing to kill him. I'm hoping he can eventually see reason, but uh, there are some things he is blind to.
If this place exists, then I feel that's obvious.
Yeah. Yeah, Alderman is extremely capable. I mean, he was the one who was able to primarily instigate teleporting an entire realm into another realm that has not been formed yet. He's very powerful. Well, was. His mind is recovering. I don't think it's ever going to fully recover from that, but yeah, but he's pretty good. Him alone is able to like crowd the entire realm and keep people who don't belong from coming in here and stuff.
That's incredible.
He's the archmage of the time. Like, he was one of the people that the Asgardians were afraid of.
Sounds like he has earned his title.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Even the few archmages I can recall did not approach that level of power.
This was like even before your people, I think. I'm honestly not really great with history of like time eras and stuff, so I'm not 100% sure. I have no idea. When was your people?
Approximately 2,000 years before now.
Wait, is that
Before Ragnarok.
Yeah, I know. Like, I've heard some things about your people, but I don't really know much. Like, how long did your, like, empire last or something? I mean, I know when it ended, when Ragnarok happened, but...
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I was very young when everything happened.
Ah. Sorry about that. That really sucks.
Yeah.
Anyway, but yeah, hey, look, here's the tower. He swims to an entrance, and leads you within. The interior is decorated with lit up with various colors of bioluminescent plants. It is like, it's like the walls are essentially covered in glowing flowers of various colors. As you swim through various hallways and such, he brings you to a large, like, massive, I'm talking like freaking probably like 20-foot tall metal doors. He's like goes over and dong, dong, knocks on as it's more like a dong, dong, or whatever, because underwater. Everything in here is like slightly, muted or whatever, underwater sound. But after a moment, the door starts opening. He's like, "Oh, okay, he, like I said, he's one of the ones that looks kind of intimidating at first. I was a little put off at first when I saw him, but trust me, he's not gonna like gnaw your flesh off or anything like that."
It's okay.
As the doors open, you see he looks like that, except he's blue.
Davy Jones over here.
Pretty much. But you see him within there. He's not wearing those garbs or whatever. That's just the type of creature he is, but blue. But he is wearing this very clean silver material that is like the same as the buildings. Wearing it as it looks like it almost looks like clothing. With when light hits it as he moves, it looks like it flows in the water, but you're not kind of like, way clothing would ripple in water, but you're not sure. It's hard to tell if it's just a trick of the light or if it really does move like that. He is currently swim pacing in the water. Across from him is a mermaid-ish woman.
That's cool.
I'm pretty much stealing that exact description, even with the wings and stuff.
She's even got air bladders on her chest.
Oh, yeah. Man, I saw that design and I was like, oh, that's freaking awesome.
I love the
gotta
wings.
completely steal it.
Yeah, that's sick. But go on.
It's not really practical to have wings underwater like that. I don't freaking care.
Nor fish boobies, but
yeah,
it adds to the design.
But she is currently there with like her hand over her face, and it's just them in this large chamber. It looks like it was once upon a time a kind of like a meeting hall for like people to come in and speak with someone important. But it is and it has like a really tall ceiling, but instead of it being normally like that due to it being underwater now, it isn't like a throne or whatever that's down there. Instead, it is, and also it's been like overgrown with coral. There's like coral and stuff going on the sides. Some of it has like grown and formed into seats and such, and there are people who are fish people that are like sitting on those fins or whatever dangling off, and they are holding like stones or like a thin slabs of stone, and in the other hand have some sort of almost like a metallic, but it's like that silver metal as well, that is kind of like a knife, and they're just like moving it across on the stone with speed like they're like a pen on paper kind of thing, as they're writing various things. And what languages do you speak?
Syrinx, anything bird related, Common, Celestial, and Saxon.
You do not understand the language that they are speaking, but as he is the Sea King is doing that as he's pacing, he then whips around and holds his hand out like this and proclaims something, and then the woman, she lifts her head up, and with like surprise on her face, almost like exaggerated, she then puts a hand on her chest and holds out her hand to his outstretched hand. He floats over and takes it, and then they pull each other close, and he whispers something, and then they separate, and he kind of like nods at her, and she does like a half smile and nods, and he says something back to her, and then turns towards you. The individuals that are up there like scribbling, they swim down, showing something on there to the woman, and she looks at it and kind of like grimaces for a moment, and then nods, and he takes it away. He looks at you, furrows his brow, and then he doesn't actually have any. I think he doesn't have eyebrows, but he still has that.
He has brows, just not the furry part.
Yeah. And then turns towards Jackson, who he then speaks to Jackson in the language you don't understand. It's almost like burpy gurgly sounds.
Burpy gurgly. Underwater noises.
Yeah. Jackson, and then replies back, motions to you as he's speaking. He gets like a little sag with his arms, holds up his hand like this, and goes like that, and then he goes like this, and after a moment, he just and turns towards you and says in common, "I presume you speak this language."
I do.
Wonderful. Speaker, Jackson says your name is. Welcome to my home.
Thank you.
I'm sorry for the predicament you are stuck in, but this is usually what happens when you mess with the will of the Aesir. You either die or you get sent somewhere where to hide from them. Are you hungry? Are you tired? Need anything? I advise not drinking the water down here as it is quite salty. We have elements of fresh water that can be provided for you if you wish.
I do admit to being tired. I have not rested since the fight.
All right. If you could show him to the haven, then when he is fully rested, then we can have a conversation. But you are welcome here. When you are rested, we will talk and see exactly who you are, what it is you need, and what holds for your future. But please get some rest first.
Very well.
Jackson will give like a nod, bow to the woman fishy woman, who will kind of give a sigh and nod, do kind of like a slight bow thing to him, and then turns like, all right, let's go. Gives you like a little elbow bump into you.
Speaker probably winces, hits a particular bruise, and then.
Oh, I mean, I can help you out a little bit if you want. Like,
I'm at 11 HP.
Oh dang, sorry.
Speaker still looks like he's the hell. That's the hell beat out of him.
Yeah, you'll get some non-lethal as you feel yourself like.
So I could probably do something.
You feel like some of your bruise worsen, but like other elements, wounds and such, and arrow holes decrease, like the pain decreases, and the wounds partially close.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, I'll lead you to Haven, just a little the place that we got where people who can't breathe underwater have a place to stay. He leads you out of the multi-spired tower thing, towards another building. It is very similar to, it's similar architecture with the spiky top and such, but it's a little bit wider than most of the other ones here. He brings you to the entrance of it, opens the. Actually, I didn't really think about what they've done with the doorways.
We just took all the doors off.
That'd be a pain to open.
Yeah. Other than like maybe bedrooms, they probably just took all the doors off, so they can just swim through.
Yeah. However, this one would need to have a door. So he goes to the side and he pulls a lever. As it does, a stone, basically a stony cover that was over the entrance begins to go down, and it slides down into the ground, and you see this short chamber with another door that is there. And he goes in with you, pulls the lever back up, reaches to another lever on the wall and pulls that, and then there is a draining sound as water within the chamber lessens and lessens until it's drained out of the bottom. And then he goes over to the net, and then he leaves the switch down, goes over, pulls the lever next to the last door as it then slides open. Inside of here is a building where it is a very open first floor. It looks like it may have been a library at one point. And many of the bookshelves and such have been made into to have like makeshift walls, essentially.
Mhm.
And then various doors and stuff have been either taken from places or made and connect like a different bookshelves to have like, you know, a section off area with a door.
Okay.
But there's various elements of those. Then there's stairs that go up to a balcony that looks over the first area. Like it covers probably about half of the open air above, where there would be various other bookshelves and such. And then you can look down in the middle, where in the middle there is a fountain that's currently not actually doing anything. And also the fountain looks broken. All that's left of it is just like the someone is standing on a rock, and it is broken from like at the knees, so I was not really sure who's standing there or anything. But there's then there is a third floor that covers the rest of the open air above, and not sure what's up there.
Okay.
But as he leads you in here, there are there's a few other people kind of chilling around in here. There's 5 others in this chamber here. There is a half-orc man, who is... Oh, and these individuals are, at this point, would be in here, they would wear, like, their normal outside garb, like, you know, above ocean garbs, and then they would have other garbs that they can change into when they need to go out into the water and stuff. But there's a half-orc man who is currently sitting next to a bard cage that's like probably
a what cage?
A bard cage.
Oh, a bard. Okay.
Which is probably about 10 foot by 10 foot in size. And there's like a bed and stuff in there, but he's currently sitting on a bench next to it, and standing next to him with a hand on his shoulder and kind of like leaning down, whispering something, is a light elf man. Not pure prime light elf, but a light elf. As he's looking down at the guys he's talking to with concern. Oh, sorry, there's 4, not 5. I just read that. Then there is, sitting next to the broken fountain, sitting next to the broken fountain at a desk, and piles of papers that look like have some sort of drawings and such on them, or many written things, is a looks to be tall, like 7.5 foot tall human, and this is probably the first human you have ever seen who's black skinned. And as he turns and to look at you as you enter in, you see his mouth is sewed shut. As he looks at you, you see his eyes, which are looking in them. It feels like they're endless. Like you could look into it and you just get pulled in a vast expanse of space, and you have to like it kind of it gives you vertigo if you stare into the eyes for too long. And then the last one, the only one who I have a picture, is a black tiefling man, who is currently sitting at a chair that he's leaning up against the back up against one of the bookshelves. And he has a knife that he's kind of like twirling around and playing with and stuff. Seems like he knows how to handle a knife very, very well. Yeah. Well, welcome. Hey everyone, this is Speaker. He's gonna be staying here at least for today. He had a little incident with the gods, so he's kind of sorry, Asgardians. So he's kind of chilling here for now, kind of like the rest of you. Yeah, everyone say hi if you want or anything. Get him one of the spots to stay in there and whatnot. We'll bring some food around for you. I hope you like fish, or like eel or crab or I hope you like seafood. Because that's like all we got.
Mind.
I know I miss real food. Anyway, yeah, we'll bring some of that. There is fresh water on the second floor. The stairs are right over there. If you need a drink or anything, there should be a pitcher in an empty room that you can fill up, and some cup and a cup and stuff like that. So yeah. Make yourself comfortable. If you need anything, up on the third floor, there's usually one of us up there who can, help make sure you get the seaweed you need to be able to breathe out in the water, breathe and talk stuff out in the water and whatnot, and we'll help you get out there if needed.
All right.
Is there anything you need before I head out?
Not that I can think of at the moment.
Fantastic. All right, you get some rest, and I'll catch you later.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, bye.
Jackson's so high energy compared to Speaker.
And he'll leave you to it. Pulls lever, goes through door, pulls lever, pulls other lever, pulls
I feel like I can't see the other levers at that point.
I know.
There's much lever pulling, yes. Speaker will look at this ragtag group of people. What is your story?
Which one? There's
addressing them all. Like, just kind of... I don't know.
They're kind of like glancing up at you and stuff. The one with the mouth sewed shut, moves a piece of paper to the side and grabs another one and writes something on there. Gets up, goes over and holds it up to you. Are you able to read common? I think you can at this point. If I remember.
Yes, I think it was Saxon that I was still working on learning to read.
He wrote on there, the gods want, the gods, let's see what I can say. The gods want to kill or imprison everyone here. Kind of like, it's like a wooden board thing, and you write that it's on, and he writes a little bit more. Holds it back up. My name is PT. Your name is Speaker?
I am Speaker.
Holds up. I'm sorry that you're here. I have been here for a very long time, and I'm sure you probably will too.
I am unsure. I don't know what the future holds for me now.
Odds. He writes and points over to the guy leaning up against the leaning on the chair. That is Uriel. He's a little bit of a loner. And writes, and then points at the guy that's standing next to the guy. No, he points at the guy in the chair on the bench. That is Bergen. He has a mental. How do I word this? His mind is cracked. And then he'll raise his nose. Then points at the other guy. That is Anakin. They're close friends.
Skywalker? I don't mean to sound rude, but is your mouth unable to be fixed?
It is better that it stays shut so that I don't give in to my hunger.
Okay. I will take your word for it.
After a pat on his half-orc friend's shoulder, Anakin then gets up and walks across the floor, the floor over to you. Let's see. Your speaker.
I am.
Welcome. I haven't seen your kind before. Is it another one of Oda's new species?
More one that has been lost to time. My species was before the first Ragnarok.
How did you get here?
A very small number of us survived in the astral plane. Time there does not work the same as it does here. For us, it was a amount of years. For the rest of the world, it was 2,000.
What's the astral plane? I've never heard of that before.
What I have learned, it was a prison created by the gods, where they put unwanted beings or things they chose not to fight, or could not. It is disconnected from the rest of the planes, and as such cannot be traveled to easily.
That's why you got stuff there by the gods, and then now that you're out, they want you back in?
I don't really know anymore. It was more we were stuck there because of Ragnarok or a similar event. Less on purpose and more collateral damage.
Sorry. I'm Anakin. That's Bergen, friend of mine. We've been here a year or two now at this point. The same thing. Man, it feels like every time someone new comes in, it feels like it's a session of AA with, hey, my name is Anakin. I'm here because I'm stuck with my friend who's being hunted by gods. Hey, my name's PT. Gods want to kill me too. Still don't fully know why. Write it down. Better if you didn't know exactly why. Uh-huh.
Well, if he does not wish to answer, why do the gods hunt you?
Well,
or more specifically, your friend.
They hunt my friend. So we used to be with Seg, and him and I, we fought in the Elven Civil War, and he kind of got screwed up mentally when he tried to we were trying to keep Cert from getting his sword. This is probably a lot crazy stuff for you, but whatever. We were trying to keep Cert from getting his sword, and when he made contact with it, it screwed up with his brain, and he has a terrible case of split personality disorder. He's a great guy. He might become a bloodthirsty maniac who wants to kill everyone that was close to him and serve the fire giant himself, which is why we have that cage.
I have heard that Cert's sword is not one that you can easily handle.
No.
Or any mortal, really.
A lot of us tried to take it at once to like get it away from him. Over half of us went mad. It is not something you can really wield. It is.
But you were able to wield it?
We were able to grab it long enough to have it sent away somewhere. And one of us died. 3 of us went insane. I was barely able to resist it. Barely. Still like have a burning mark on my mind. This is not great, but yeah, but Bergen here got screwed up by it. One morning he woke up and wasn't the same. Disappeared, and when I found him, I found him in cahoots with a demon serving Cert, and him and that demon Spinley were fighting a god. They almost killed, what was her name? Eostray, that's what it was. The goddess of spring, and she barely ended up escaping, but she was really off her wear. That demon did something to her. She was scarred mentally and physically after that. But yeah, the gods weren't too happy about that. We were given another chance because of his condition and our affiliation with Seg. But there's something about the gods that trigger him, and when he saw another one, he swapped to evil mode and tried to kill them. And well, we couldn't stick around after that. We are. Ended up learning about this place here, and was able to get in contact with them.
Do you seek to join their crusade?
No. I'm here so that Bergen can lay low and we can figure out a way to fix him. I don't want to fight any gods. I mean, our fighting days are kind of over. We just want to have peace. After the Elven Civil War, seeing that land get destroyed, and after what that sword did to us, and then just on the run after that, we're just done. But
I'm sorry to hear the path that life has taken you.
yeah, I mean, I have hope that one day we'll be able to be back up on the surface and live a regular life, but I don't know if that'll end up happening. I don't support this crusade, but I don't really see another way. As long as we're wanted by them, how are we going to live in their world?
You do not blame them for how you were treated?
No, I don't. I mean, you almost killed one of their gods, and then fought and almost killed others, it's kind of understandable. And he's tried to murder them multiple times and was actively working with Cert and his followers to help bring about their downfall. So, yeah, it's understandable why they feel the way about us, but neither of us are just gonna roll over and let them kill us or cart us away or anything. I don't want to fight them. Fight at all.
Sounds like for now, at least, this is your only option.
Yeah, pretty much.
I don't know of anywhere else, at least that you could survive, or you could hide from the gods.
Yeah, they find people fairly easily. I mean, Jackson actually, Jackson and, well, a friend of his, Maris, they seem to have like a pretty good idea on how Heimdall watches or whatever. Apparently, he doesn't have like full vision of everything. He's not omnipresent. And they've been able to use that to their advantage a lot.
Interesting.
The way they put it is wherever he looks, he can see perfectly, but he can't look everywhere at once.
I will keep that in mind.
But if you're on his watch list, when I was talking to Jackson, Jackson said he doesn't. Jackson said that essentially the way it works is with someone with his vision is that if he sees something that is a trace of someone, he can follow it. Kind of like a scent, I guess. So it's like, hey, in the past 10 years of your life, you were in this area. Like somewhere in the past 10 years of your life, you walked through here. Oh, he can find that. And then he can just follow it to find where you are now. Yeah, makes it very difficult to hide. So if he's looking for you, he's going to find you. Anyway, that over there, the edgelord, Uriel, he doesn't really talk much. He's a grumpy guy. I mean, he has good reason for it, but he got mind controlled influenced by a demon as well, and tried to bring the demon into this realm, which would have been a threat to humanity, and the gods aren't too happy about that. It would also be she would actually probably be a danger to them, from what I understand. But good luck getting really anything from him.
He wishes. He does not need to speak if he does not wish to. I am more.
He's actually the newest. Just like a month. Well, no, not that you're here. The oldest is it's PT over there. How long have you been here, PT? I'm not exactly sure. Somewhere around 150-ish years. Yeah.
What race does he PT appear to be?
He looks like a human, except for the fact that he's almost 8 foot and is black skinned. The only black skinned race you've seen, there's some tiefling, and then there's the dark elves. But he doesn't have the pointy ears of a dark elf or the red eyes of a dark elf. He doesn't have any horns or such from
Like a tiefling.
like a tiefling or anything like that. He just looks like a all black dude. He's actually pretty thin as well.
Well, sounds like he doesn't eat, so.
I mean, his mouth is so shut. And he gets some sort of hunger thing he needs to keep in check.
Yep. Slurps your brains out.
Hey, PT, can you get him situated? He looks over at Bergen, who's just like, he's like rubbing his eyes and his temples. I'm going to get Bergen settled for some sleep. By the way, when this is closed up, don't really interact with it. It has a lot of different magical enchantments on it and such stuff to keep his magic contained so that he can't actually get out.
Okay.
I wouldn't finagle with it. All right, come on, Bergen. Yeah.
One last question, if I may.
Oh, yeah.
If you wish to leave, do you think they would let you?
Yeah. We're not prisoners here. We can leave if we want, but we're here because we want to. Like there have been those who were here and have left. We're just the ones that haven't. But if you want to go out and about, they'll let you. If you want to go out back into Midgard, I mean, they'll take you if you really want to. I went there once just for a quick moment, just to see my home for a short moment. But yeah. You ready, Bergen? Time already? Yeah, it's time. Alright. Chains were a little loose last time. Don't make them so loose this time. I don't want to hurt you, man. Don't make them so loose again. Right. Come on, go inside. Lead him inside where there are chains from that are coming from the ceiling, the top of the cage, that go down and chain on his wrists. There's a decent amount of decent amount of slack so he can have his arms down and stuff. It's to where he can lay on the bed and kind of like have his arms laid out in front of him like that, but he can't like bring them to the side or reach down to the ground and stuff like that. Limits his movement to an extent. Makes it, and the reach of them makes so he like barely can't reach the cage walls and stuff, bars or whatever. But he brings him in there, puts chains on his wrists, and then closes the door behind as he locks it with a key. A humming sound, a low humming sound starts to come from the cage.
Okay.
PT will motion and lead you to one of the rooms. Since it's like just divided or whatever, you can go over it. But in there is a simple. There's a bed and place for you to put some of your stuff. It's like it's kind of like bare minimum. Basically things that you may need. There is a little like part that's connected to the wall for little like sink with a wash basin and stuff like that. It has a faucet that'll bring in water. Actually, that would be salt water.
Let's say it would suck if that was salt
So
water.
actually, there would be fresh water from there as well. So you probably wouldn't need any water from the second floor. You would just get water from that. You could just get water from there because it would be fresh water. Yeah, it's like salt water.
Yeah. Not just that, it's sticky. Like
Yeah.
once it dries on you.
That would make sense. If it was salt water. But there's like blankets and such, and as well the bed. When I say simple, it's not like villager kind of bed. It's like it would definitely is nicer, and it's
Mhm.
bigger, probably like a queen size. And it's just like doesn't have any fancy blankets or pillowcases or whatever. And it's fairly comfy. But PT will write down, is there anything that you need?
I should be all right.
Bill writes this. If there's anything you would like to talk about, I am a very good listener.
Thank you. I may take you up on that in the future.
Gives you a thumbs up, and then he'll step out, shut the door. Oh, actually, before he leaves, it is currently a little dark in here. There's just light coming in from the chamber. But he writes up, he would hold up to the light, but he'll point at various like seaweed plants, various plants that are like on the walls and such, and he writes on there, just sprinkle some water on the plants and they will light up. If you wish for them to go dark, then all you have to do is he'll just like he'll like pause and stop, and he'll just go over, get some water in his fingers, start sprinkling them. And as it does, it starts to light up, and then in order to make them go out, he starts like rubbing like he runs his finger along the center of like the leaves of
Okay.
it, and as it does, it closes up and the light goes off.
Interesting.
And he'll
Thank you.
thumbs up and walk out and shut the door behind him.
Once he leaves, Speaker's going to take off his stuff, probably throw his clothes over the top to hang and dry.
There's definitely a place to dry.
Okay, I'm gonna stick him over there.
Because it's water.
Yeah.
It would make sense. They want to be accommodating for you guys. They just
Is there like a drain or anything in here?
yeah.
Like on the floor, on the whatever?
There's one on the floor by the sink.
Okay.
And the floor near the sink is like, and the wash basin is narrowed, not narrowed, dipped a little bit to go towards that drain.
Then he's going to use the sink and try to wash off salt water best he can.
Where on the second floor where I
Mhm.
said there's fresh water, they would have also told you that there is
A shower,
excuse me, a
a bathing room.
bathing room up there
Okay.
as well.
Then before he goes to sleep, he'd do that.
They get off all the saltiness.
Can you imagine trying to sleep in salted colored feathers? That sounds awful.
Yeah. It would also be where you could wash off your clothes to
Mhm.
get saltiness out of them.
Then yeah, he does that, dries off, excuse me, and then tries to go to sleep. Whether he does or not, I don't know.
Does he?
It's probably not a very restful sleep.
What is it that Speaker is? What's going through his head as he's laying there trying to sleep?
A lot. He's thinking about the fact that, he finally got the revenge on Thor that he thought about for his entire life, and it felt hollow. It didn't do anything. It didn't accomplish anything. Like, all it did is, even based on the reactions he could see from Sif, from Aidbold, from Fire Guy, whose name I don't remember right now. Olaf. It created more problems than anything. Like, he's thinking about the fact that for the first time in practically his entire life, he pushed to solve something without violence. Like, he pushed for the option that he believed would result in the least amount of death, and it immediately spiraled back into it. He's thinking about what he saw in hell, that where he was headed, the fact that after seeing that he wanted to change, that he wanted to do something else, because if that's what's going to happen to him, then what's going to become of those who put their faith in him? And only for the moment he tries to do something better, and it just happens again. He falls right back into old habits. Old memories get brought up. It feels like it feels almost like the world is working against him. Like, what he wants for himself and for others is, everything seems to be working against that.
It probably takes a while for
Yes.
The exhaustion settled in, but his mind just keeps going. Spiraling through these different thoughts, unable to get them out, but eventually at some point the lights in the rest of the chamber go out. Darkness takes the room, and you don't know when, but sometime amongst your thoughts you finally, it's out. Probably not a restful sleep.
Nope.
Dreams of what recently occurred, what could have been, and just fitful restlessness. You eventually come to what you think might be morning. It is very hard to tell. It is still dark.
You
feel like you can't sleep anymore.
He'll get up, grab a fresh set of clothes, and wander about the space, I suppose. Eventually.
When you step out into the darkened chamber, there is something that suddenly whips to look towards you, as in the darkness you see two purplish white endless eyes stare at you. And then they look away and then get up, goes over to a water basin, feel hear a trickle in there, and then as some of the plants start to light up and you see PT there as he waves at you.
Hello again.
He goes and sits back down.
Can you not sleep?
I am incapable of sleeping.
Sorry, I think.
I'm not sure. I've never experienced it, but it sounds like it can be nice.
At times, yes. At others, it's an inconvenience. I believe I have slept less in the past few months than I ever have.
You can hopefully sleep easier here knowing they can't find you.
That's not why I have been unable to sleep. I don't fear the gods. Not truly. I spent my entire life hating them. And now I wonder if I was ever right to do so.
Erases what he was writing. Just kinda- Part of me hates them and what they are. But but just because I hate them, that doesn't make it right.
I believe that is the problem I am grappling with. My attempts to do what I believed was right, not exactly gone well.
I've had to wrestle with myself. I can kill so many of them if I wanted, but I would lose myself and I would kill so many innocents. I've gotten so close to letting my anger and hate for them destroy who I've become. Don't let that happen to you. Takes a deep breath. Don't be what I was.
I think the problem for me is that I don't know what else I could be. Spent my entire life trapped in some place that many would likely say is worse than hell itself. I would likely agree with them. Believing the gods were at fault, and believing that going against them would be doing the world a favor.
It sounds like you let your circumstances and hate define you.
Possibly.
The world can be cruel. People let their circumstances define them. Everyone would be monsters.
I suppose I knew someone. Don't know if I will ever see him again. But he did the exact opposite of that. His life was just as hellish as my own. And yet, he strove for peace, the betterment of others, even at the cost of himself. And here I stand, and I'm not even sure I can regret what has happened. I regret what it has cost others. But some part of me still believes it was deserved.
Do you want to write the thoughts that are in your head? It helps me piece together how I'm feeling. Helps me process what I want for myself.
I suppose I could try.
He smiles, grabs an extra pen, takes a few of his papers and signs them over to you. He then writes, "No one's ever listened to that. Thank you." He got like a smile.
Speaker will take the pen and start writing just whatever comes to mind, I suppose. He'll write about what he remembers of Thor, the arrogance, the what seemed to be self-absorbed ego, and most distinctly, not only his earliest memories, but of the deal that he forced onto Anda. And yet, even with all of this, writing down that Thor was killed doesn't feel right. But it doesn't feel wrong. Or, based on his actions, he still feels Thor in a way deserved it. The callousness he regarded others, the fact that they weren't gods in his eyes. But it didn't solve anything. It didn't help. It didn't help Midgard. It didn't help the few speakers trying to save. It didn't help the group. The only ones it helped were likely Nidhogg and Surt. Possibly Fate. He continues with how angry Sif and Thrud were. The same rage that he's felt at times. Whenever he thinks back to previous times, whenever he first interacted with Thor again and felt like all his hatred was justified. Whenever fate came to meddle and sacrifice for the supposed greater good, the feeling of powerlessness, that Speaker could not control his own life, forced into circumstances that he couldn't do anything about, and still trapped in this quest he was given and set for himself.
You write that few thoughts come into your mind. You think back during the war with Thieves Guild. You think back to that tunnel where you killed like over 20 people in a single blast. People that all of them necessarily wanted to be there. Many of them could have been forced into that situation and no other way out. And whatever choice they could have had, how that was taken away. Fathers, brothers, mothers, sisters, sons and daughters. They would always have someone that would mourn them. Think back to the innocents that had died at that party. The rage on people's faces when they saw what you did, the sorrow. The ones that they loved dying there for them. And their faces contort to stiff and rude. Whatever opinion you have of gods in general, the image of their takes hold in your mind. You got your revenge. He's dead. And now you find yourself separated from everyone you knew. You left behind really the only people except for Blossom who had accepted you for who you were, good and bad. Find yourself here, leaving behind two more people who are angry and grieving for the loss that they have that you helped with. But how Speaker feels about that exactly, up to you. Let those thoughts come. Realization that every god, they have a family. They have someone that loves them. They, in a way, just like everyone else, are people. Here your Speaker is now. And in a civilization, people who have been wronged by the gods in some way, shape, or form, now with people who have to hide from them, some of which have been years, some of which have been much, much longer. However that makes Speaker fear and such is you, but your thoughts are interrupted by the clanging of chain as what language did you say you speak in? Do you speak Abyssal?
No.
As
A little bit.
as not familiar, but you can tell Abyssal words like a chant starts to come from the cage. You don't feel any power behind it, but it feels like it is something that would normally have some power to it. As the half orc man in there, Bergen, is fighting against his chains as he's chanting this incantation. Otterkin comes running out of his room, and as he does, he holds up excuse me. He pulls out a sword, a beautiful silver and golden sword that he touches, and it lights up with holy light as he goes over to the cage and like clenches and readies himself, as Bergen then changes from that to curses, throwing them out towards Anakin over and over again, and they're getting more extensive and personal as it goes on, and Anakin is okay. Just like he like kind of does like a little twitch or grimace with some of the ones that get more severe, and he lets go of the sword and motions. The sword floats into the room that he had come out of, and goes over and, oh, good morning. I apologize. He's going to do that for at least the next day.
I was already awake. It's no worry.
Uriel steps out, rushes out with the knife out, and just looks at him. Are you able to quiet him, please? You know that I cannot. It's going to just go on for a couple of days. We're not going to get any sleep. No, it probably means we're not going to get much sleep. I'm sorry, but I'm not going to gag my friend. Not your friend right now. Doesn't mean I should treat him unkindly because of what Surt did to him. Should we treat you unkindly because of what your demon did to you? Oh yeah, something to know I forgot about. On his forehead is a eye that looks like it's branded on Uriel's forehead.
Huh. I believe I recognize who that is, but has a speaker ever heard that name before?
I
don't know if it was ever like actually discussed in character.
No, I don't think Speaker's ever heard that name before.
Do we have... Is there anywhere we could get something to eat? Or will they bring us food?
Oh yeah, we got some, this is Anakin. We got some things up top we can eat, if kind of like a storage if they ever are able to tend to us for a period of time. There's also some seaweed up there so we can breathe. But that's like reserve stuff. If we need to, we can go up to the third floor and talk to him guy up there, and whoever's on duty will get some food.
All right.
Are you hungry? I can go talk to him.
I don't believe I'm hungry at the moment. Just wish to be prepared.
I'll go talk to him nonetheless then. I'll be back in a few minutes. We'll start going up the stairs. T will write something, show it to you. Says, by the way, I'm sorry about my eyes. I noticed they were making you uncomfortable. And then he takes it back, writes a little bit more. I thought about sewing those shut too, but they didn't seem to harm people too much.
They just bring up bad memories. That is not your fault.
Oh, right. He'll run there and then show.
Mm-hmm.
I know of the astral plane. And I'm sorry.
I have been told that my people performed experiments. Do you know if this was true?
Performed experiments on what, of what kind?
On a Titan.
It freezes when you say that. Eyes kind of get wider. I haven't heard of that, but I'm not surprised. Well, more. A few primordial titans have been captured before and by various races and have been experimented on. The astral plane has almost endless magic in it. Using them as a gateway could harness limitless potential magic.
Something I remember is I blamed the gods for the destruction of my people. As if it was their fault that it occurred. But if what some of them has said is true, then it sounds more like the Syrinx brought their destruction upon themselves. And I have laid the sins of my people at the foot of the gods. Is Uriel still in the room, or is he just kind of?
Yeah, he's come in the room. He's like yawning and retching.
Mm-hmm.
He's kind of just like looking around the room and focuses on Bergen yelling and screaming,
Yelling and screaming.
and just kind of like rubs his ears. Sees you look at him. Yeah. Or do you just like staring at me?
I apologize. It's been a very trying couple of days.
Yeah, tell me about it. I don't mean actually tell me. That was a figure of speech. I don't know if people get. I haven't made. I screwed that up.
I would have been
Whatever.
surprised if you had.
Right? He's staring at me, bro. What's...
He's not staring at me.
Right? So he goes and takes a seat again, and he's just like. When Anakin comes back down, hey Anakin! Gonna go and do something other than sit around in here today? No, I cannot. I have to watch Bergen until he transitions back. PT, what about you? Drugs. You guys are no fun. Hey, what about you, new speaker bird guy? Do you want to go out and do something other than sit in here in this depressing hole all day or night or whatever it is?
At the moment, no. I would prefer to keep the salt out of my feathers as much as possible for the time being.
Alright, I'll just turn around and go back into his room, shut the door. Eventually, Jackson shows up with some food for everyone. Brings in some let's see. Yeah, so they bring it like in a container that is like made airtight or whatever, like made so water it doesn't get in. And it's cooked beforehand and brought here to them. Jack's like, hey, I got some cooked fish here. We have like another spot where we can cook it so that, you know, people who don't like eating raw food can actually, you know, enjoy food. You can thank me for that. Would not believe what these people would eat before me. It was disgusting. It was the amount of times I've gotten seaweed stuck halfway down my throat is just it is disgusting. Makes me just gag thinking about it. Sorry.
I see that.
Anyway, so yeah, here you go. Dig in. When you're all done, you good to go talk to Sea King?
I suppose.
Fantastic. All right. Cool. So, I mean, in the meantime, I'm just kind of pulling while start eating. PT just kind of like sniffs the food. It smells good. Yeah, I hope it tastes good too. So, you got any questions or anything? I'm happy to, like, you know, lore dump our whole history and life to you until I get bored.
Is there much more other than what you've told me before?
Much more in the history of an entire civilization and realm.
You don't strike me as the type who wants to sit here and
No, I'm
go
not.
on about the specifics.
I was told to specifically ask you that. Great, history lesson over.
I suppose a question I could ask is,
It was free.
what does... For lack of a better term, what does Vanaheim hope to get out of their war?
The removal of need of any gods.
From what I know, that seems impossible.
Oh, you don't know.
Not because the gods can't be killed, obviously.
So there is a very well weaved in lie that the gods have, like, they've even worked into the power itself to try to deceive anyone who tries to take it. When you defeat a god, you are presented with a choice: to take the power, to let it loose for someone else to take, or to destroy it.
I am aware.
The destroying is a lie. The gods, they didn't like start with the power. it manifested with them as the world was as they were making the world and whatnot. It's not them. It is something that they've taken. It originated. It came from the world, from creation. You can't destroy it. The destroying lets it back into the world. If you could actually destroy it, the world would be in absolute chaos right now. Because we have destroyed a lot of power. But no, it goes back into the world itself. Like, let's use an example. One that you'll know of. The god of protection. Lyn. Her powers. That power is now out in the world. There is no longer like a embodiment of a figure, a person who is the representation of protection, but now it is in the world. It is in the people that are born in it. It is in life itself. No longer imbued to a being, but to your person and the world. The Bright One, his power was destroyed a long time ago, but Baldur's power is still out there. It's still influencing people. It is still being a light in the world because it is a part of the world. The only way a god's power really can, the power really can stop being effective in the world is if someone takes it and doesn't do anything with it.
You do not believe these powers will eventually remanifest?
I don't know. I mean, it hasn't really been, I don't know. I haven't seen that happen before. From what we understand, that hasn't happened before, but we do know that the power isn't destroyed. If it was, I mean, things would be crazy. Like, let's see. Let me check my notes real quick.
Let me pull up my list of dead gods. I feel like it's about to be added to.
Let's see. Let's look at some of these. Yeah, so Lyn, goddess of protection. That doesn't mean there aren't going to be people or things protecting people anymore. There's things like, Huther, the god of winter. He's dead. And look out on Midgard. There's plenty of winter going on there.
Well, that's caused by a portal to Niflheim.
Oh, well, I mean, he's been dead for, let's see, when did he die? Let's see, Loki indirectly actually kind of got him, made him die. He died like over 200 years ago at this point. And there's definitely been winter since then. The goddess of youth, she died. There's still plenty of youth people. I mean, she also guarded the apples, and the apples are kind of hosed now. So. Oh, hey, here's a great one. Kvisser, goddess of inspiration. I'm feeling pretty inspired right now, yo. Loki, named the god of mischief. I'm pretty mischievous. Especially that Uriel guy, he's pretty mischievous. Modi and Magni, Thor's children. Magni was like an aspect of god of strength, and then Modi was god of courage. Like, and Mira, god of wisdom. Nana, the goddess of joy and peace.
You said Mimir?
Yeah. The guy that I think the dragon named himself afterwards. Goddess of the sea. Goddess of wisdom, war. Like, you know that there was a time that Hel was stripped of her power before her power was given to someone else, where there wasn't a god of Hel? Actually, no, that one, I take that back. That one did suck because the power was just kind of not doing anything for that time. So never mind. That one was a bad circumstance because it didn't actually go back into the world. But all of these things, like all these gods that have been killed and their power has been destroyed, it's gone into the world, and the world's doing just fine. The reason the world is falling apart is because of idiot Asgardians doing stupid things and a whole bunch of monsters out there that are trying to destroy humanity.
Do you not think then that it is possibly a poor time to be waging this war? Given Nidhogg's attempt to return?
But we have cut it down quite a bit recently, except for you guys and some other people from SEG have been really on top of the god killing. Like, you guys have done a lot. I think between you guys, there's been like 6 dead or something within just the past year. That is ridiculous. You guys are doing a lot. We haven't killed anytime recently. But I mean, the thing is, the gods are, the Asgardians are kind of getting a little messed up. Like I said, the power originated from the world. They're just they are, you know,
Using
it essentially. It is bounded to them, but it originated from the world. The freaking Vanir could have, the Vanir could have been gods if they were just the ones instead. They were definitely powerful enough to hold the power and use it to its full potential. But anyway, with Ithune being killed by Loki and her no longer able to maintain the Garden of the Apples of Eternal Youth, and then Istre losing her mind after those two, after one of them, the Bergen tried to kill her. After that whole thing happened where they lost access to the apples and the tree got destroyed by Loki and all this stuff, that was basically their way of keeping them going. And now past curses and afflictions and such that were held back by those are coming back. A lot of them are losing their minds. A lot of them are growing even more crazy and giving into like aspects of them that are very severe. Like right now, Tyr, the god of war, he always has like some sort of champion. Do you know who his champion is right now?
I can't say that I do.
It's freaking what was his name? Magnus Dragonfriend, the guy who's freaking raging war and taking over Ninodi. That's who his champion is right now. They have lost their minds. Whatever it is that's like been kind of crappy about them in the past is amplified, or stuff like Lynn, she had some sort of like terrible curse thing from a sword, and she was straight up trying to murder one of the people that she was supposed to protect. I think your friends ended up dealing with that and getting her killed. Yeah, let's say you got the power for a bit. Like they're broken. And if they keep it for too much longer, we're fairly certain that they're just gonna end up being the next big threat that the world faces.
And so you decided to call them before that happens.
We're trying to bring the power back into the world. They don't want that. They don't want to give it up. They've had it for so long that they think that they've convinced themselves that the world will fall apart without them. And they're not willing to. Instead, they're just letting themselves slip further and further away, trying to find a way to fix their problem, but there's none. Well, I mean, PT would know, like, you can't escape old age forever. It's gonna catch up to them. And we're at the time where it is. A lot of them are jerks, a lot of them are selfish, and those aspects of them are amplified. Like, we wait too long. They know Midgard more than any other enemy we have. They have their fingers in the way the realm itself functions. If they went completely bad crap crazy, they could bring this whole place to ruin. They're starting to go there. How many people have died because Tyr is so obsessed with wars and champions and crap like that? Just look at what Thor was doing. That guy's ego was off the charts. And after everything your group was doing, he still just straight up tried to kill you. Because he was butthurt. I've talked to Heimdall. He knows it. He sees what's happening to them all. But he's the guardian of Asgard. He's never going to step down from his duty, even though he sees the path that they're going down. He's not going to try to stop it. When Odin tried to stop their downfall, he just caused it. And now Heimdall is doing nothing, and that's just helping to... That's just doing the same thing.
Do you believe it would be possible to speak with Heimdall?
It's possible, yeah, but I mean, it's gotten pretty risky. I haven't talked to him for a while now. When I helped drown Thor's sons, he kind of stopped being on speaking terms with me.
Doesn't surprise me.
Yeah.
With that in mind, I do not know if he would speak to me.
Might give you a chance, might not. He's given me many chances, but eventually it was just the last two very heavy, strong straws that really broke it. But it's risky talking to him. I always made sure I was in a good place to where I could get out right away or had help with me so that they wouldn't want to risk it. I mean, he can, if he's looking at a place, he can send one of the he can send Asgardians there. It's very risky.
There's more at stake than just me.
I mean, you ran away from from the Asgardian's wrath, you really want to go get his attention and then just have to face it again?
If Heimdall is as reasonable as you say, he is the only Asgardian that saw everything that happened. It is possible I could at least talk.
I know a place that is on the that's well, Nine Odie. It's probably destroyed now. Dang. There was an altar that was set up there that I would go to talk to him. That's like right on the coast, so that if I needed to, I could. I mean, I would have help nearby there, Kraken buddy to back me up if needed. With all the war that's happening there, it's probably gone.
Would it be too difficult to check?
No, not really. I mean, it depends on whether or not what the war has done over there, but I could go check. I would need, I don't know how long I would need. I mean, I could head out of here and get there in an instant, and then probably wouldn't take more than a few minutes to see if it's actually still standing. So I could probably be back pretty quickly unless I get delayed because there might be a big battle and dragons and stuff, but I don't know. We'll see. I can do that for you if you want.
If you are willing to, I would appreciate it.
Yeah, sure. Oh, okay. I can go now instead. Okay.
Unless the Sea King wishes to speak with me urgently.
Right. I forgot about that. I'll drop you off at the Sea King, and then actually, I'll look forward to drop you off at the Sea King, and I'll go deal with the thing. I'll be faster that way.
I am rested enough. If he is ready to see me, I could go there myself.
Oh yeah, sure. I brought some right here. He reaches into a bag and
For the seaweed.
Here's some seaweed for you, and then also reaches in. I had someone make clothing that would kind of fit, should fit you. That'll help keep your like feathers dry.
Is this like a full body latex suit or something?
Essentially. I have no idea how comfortable it'll be, but especially with your talons and stuff like that.
I will do without for now.
All right.
I appreciate the thought.
Oh, I'll just put that there.
Or my
All right.
freaking spell is lasting barely any time at all.
All right, well, then if you want to head out now, we can go out.
Very well, I'll go with him.
All right. Lever. As you get out, the salt water in the chamber lifting up and completely coating you, the coolness of the water hitting you. Then the other doors open, and he'll wave at you, and he'll swim off. And then as he's swimming off, he's going very, very quickly, and then the water seems to warp around him, and he's gone.
How far away was the Sea King's palace from my current abode?
Essentially like 4 or 5 blocks.
Okay. I'll slap myself with bestial form and give myself a swim speed so that it doesn't suck trying to get over there.
Oh, yeah. That's
Thought about just teleporting in there, but that's a little rude.
All right. So, you get webbed talon feet.
Yeah, I got no idea how that works.
That is weird.
I could have woken up in demon form and have webbed wings. Might have made it maybe easier, probably not.
What? You swim on over there, and there's some guard dudes that give you entry, as they've been informed of your arrival. As you go into the given access to the chamber. It's been changed in here. An area, it looks like it's being prepared for, and I don't even know how exactly they would do this, but it's being prepared for a play that's underwater. So I guess like an area up top is being like decorated to be like the stage area and set up for that, while the area beneath is getting set up for people to swim and chill about and whatnot. Currently there is Udril, which is the mermaid woman with wings, as she's directing people on where to go and what to do and stuff like that, but in a language you don't understand. And then the Sea King is just kind of like watching all and nodding, looks over at you.
Did you knock a screw out? How did you do that? That is honestly impressive.
Guess it wasn't really on there that
It probably just got loose over time.
Yeah. It's a nut.
The nut.
The nut.
The
got
nut.
loose. Anyway, and motions for you to come over, and he's just kind of looking up at the queen. He's just, beautiful, isn't she?
I'll give him a short bow.
How I wish my form adopted something less sharp. As he kind of like rubs his tongue against his sharpened teeth. Something more handsome, beautiful.
I can't say I am capable myself, but I know of magics that could change one's form.
Yes, I know, but it is not me. Anyway, thank you for coming to see me. We can leave them to their business. Please come swim with me.
I will do so.
He'll start swimming through chambers, and essentially, as he starts talking, he'll lead through some hallways out, eventually out, quote unquote, outside. Outside. Through like essentially a small, essentially a reef. And it's set up kind of like a garden. A reef garden.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah, it does sound awesome. That'd be so cool to swim along, dude.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be dope. Yeah, as you guys are talking. So Jackson has filled me in on some of your predicament with what's happened with Thor. I'm curious myself on why you would trust yourself to this man you've just met to come to a realm that you don't know, that could just have been a trap and been hostile to you.
I did not believe I had other options. I
trusted the unknown over that of your kin and Asgardians.
I believed, and still do, at least to some extent, that the Asgardians would have killed me for what happened.
They probably would have, yes.
Knowing that, and being unable to escape Heimdall, I picked the only option I believed I had. I was not aware Heimdall's powers are as limited as they apparently are. And even then, it would still be difficult.
He wants to find you. May take days, but he'll find you.
And for that reason, I picked the only option I believe I had.
So then, are you wanting to stay here? Jackson said that you have fought gods multiple times now. Are you wanting to help us fight against them? Or what is it you want?
Right now, I confess I do not know.
There are others here that do not know what they want yet and are just wanting a place to be away from dangers. You're welcome to stay if you wish and think and determine what it is you want in the future.
And if I wish to leave at some point in the future.
I would advise against it as long as they are searching for you, but it's your decision. I would be grieved, especially since, from what I have heard, you would be a very helpful ally.
Regardless of whatever I do end up choosing, thank you for allowing me refuge.
We give refuge we can from them. There isn't anywhere else in the realms, really. Have their fingers in everything.
So Jackson has told me. And described how the supposed destruction of the power actually works.
Yes.
Is that what you all have been doing? Not taking it, but returning it?
Some very few cases we have taken it, but primarily, yes, we have been releasing it. I took the power, the power of the sea for, well, obvious reasons. Without it, it would have been much more difficult to hide here as well and to be able to, for my people to survive and thrive. Jackson recently just took Thor's power, because it is a necessary weapon in order to fight against the rest of them for the time being.
And if you were to win, to be victorious, what would you do with the power you now hold?
The world.
I'm gonna roll a sense motive, but I am
Okay.
probably going to not do hot. Hey, look at that. It's a 15.
Nice.
I rolled a 12.
Seems to be honest. Best you can read thing's face.
Yeah. Best I could read Davy Jones over there.
We have only taken only 2, yes. Just my own and now Thor's. The only other ones we would consider taking would be the goddess of the sun and her brother the moon. They are nearly consumed by, are getting close to being consumed by Fenrir's children, and if we were to let them die, well, that would be catastrophe for the world, and if we let the power go out amongst the land, then their wrath would then be turned towards the land. So then when they're on their essentially deathbed, we plan to take that power to direct the wolves towards us instead of the world or anyone else. And then perhaps one day Heimdall's power, as it would be very useful to monitor the remaining Aesir and wherever they may hide and such. But if they're willing to just give up their power, then that would be better.
You give them that option?
Oh, yes. Yes. There was one day I would not. One day when I was I was angry for what they had done to my people. But Jackson helped me see the destructive nature that my anger for them would lead me down. And showed me that not all of the gods need to be destroyed or killed. That there are those out there who did not seek for destruction of those that they, as guardians, saw as a whole as their enemy. But for thousands of years, I was in hiding from them. And now for hundreds, I've been fighting them. I am growing old and tired. I want a place for my people. We don't have to hide in the waters anymore. This is not my natural form. When none of the Vanir or any of our descendants that are down here, most of them, not their true form. It's just what we've had to adapt to being that we can survive. And I am so tired of adapting to survive.
I cannot fault you there. I see parallels in my own life.
Do. There's people, old civilizations that challenge them or get in their way. They force them to be on that path. You have to adapt or die. And I want a future. Well, that's not the case.
It is a worthy future to strive for.
How long do you think you will stay here for?
I do not yet know.
Right.
I have asked Jackson for a favor, and I think that will help me decide.
What favor?
It is foolish and risky, but if Jackson of all people believes it, he has said Heimdall is reasonable. And I wish to hear all sides to the story. Not yours, but mine.
Considering what you left behind, I do believe that that is a very foolish decision and will probably end with you being carted away. But Heimdall is a very reasonable person, and understanding through perception is kind of his thing. If someone goes to him seeking answers, he usually is willing to provide them. I would be very careful how you how you structure your words when trying to draw him to you, because how you say things will probably determine whether or not he comes with hostility in mind or to share what he knows.
Thank you.
I can have some of my elite troop on standby in case things do turn hostile, so that we can dissuade him and pull you out.
That is more than you should have to do. I have done nothing to deserve that. I will accept your assistance if you give it.
Yeah. I'll inform Jackson once he returns.
He went to Ninodi to check if the altar to Heimdall still existed.
Okay. If it's not, I may have another way to get his attention. We'll first see if it is still there.
Very well.
After about 20-30 minutes or so, he'll walk back with you.
Swim back.
Swim back with you.
I might have to recast the spell.
um,
I can meta magic. Actually, no. I can meta magic, so it lasts for over 40 minutes, close to 50.
Jackson will come back. All right, so, good news. They didn't destroy it. It is currently occupied, by Magnus Dragon Friend's troops. So we all have to do a little bit of sneaking in, if you're wanting to go to it, but it doesn't even seem like they touched it.
Sneaking shouldn't be too difficult.
Are you sure about that? Because dragons can see things really well, and there were 2 there last time when I was there. There was 2. So I have to make sure not be seen by them. And invisibility does not work against. It can, depending on how strong they are. But
Only up close.
okay, too close.
We can,
Um,
if we can get line of sight to the altar, I can get us inside.
Okay, sounds good. And I would like you to bring some of our elite troop with you to be on standby. Oh, okay, yeah. I'll get Ford. Do you think Sidril will be okay with Maris coming? I think we can spare him. All right, cool. I'll bring him, and then how big do we want to be? Can I bring the Kraken? He's gonna bring the Kraken. Bring the Kraken, but keep him in deeper waters unless things get bad. So, thanks.
The Kraken might be a bad idea.
Hey, he's got really long arms, so like, if you're really far away, he could just reach out and grab us and like go away.
If you say so.
Now keep him far away. Yeah, I know. I don't want to be seen by any dragons or anything like that. But he's like a, really big threat. If they see it, they may be like, I don't know if I want to fight that, Yes, I know. That's why I am allowing it to be considered. I mean, allowing it to happen. But it is just to be on standby. Just to be on standby. That should be enough then. I think we should be able to handle it, unless a lot of them come.
If it becomes too much, then fleeing is an option. Probably the best one.
That's the point. It's kind of like be like a group to like dissuade them from chasing. I'll grab a couple others that Ford might suggest. Alright, cool. I'll go gather them and meet up with you here in probably like 20 minutes.
Very well.
Alrighty.
Actually,
Great.
would you be willing to meet at the abode?
Or Alright, great.
I will be there.
I hope so, because you said we were gonna meet there. It'd be kind of weird if we went to meet there and you weren't there.
Yes. Turning to the Sea King, speaker will give another bow. Again, thank you for everything.
Most welcome.
And then if I may take my leave.
You're dismissed. Go and collect what you need.
Teleport.
And I'll go collect what I need.
Nathan, he says that.
As you're
And
telling
then
me.
I cast teleport. Jackson's like, oh.
And I'll mean.
I just wanted to not waste time
Jerk.
because I wanted to ask PT some things.
Alright, you appear in there all soaked as water.
I was gonna appear in the intermedium chamber and then
okay.
drain the water.
Drain the water.
I'd still be wet,
I mean,
but
you're still wet, yeah.
it's less.
You're not like
sudden.
bringing water that's like on you
Yeah.
into there as well.
Yeah. I figured out how to pull the levers watching Jackson do it.
You pull the levers and head on in.
What do I see when I walk in?
Bergen is still going on and on and on. Uriel is kind of like walking around with his ears plugged, just kind of like pacing. Anakin is at the table looking at PT as PT's drawing something.
I will walk over to where they're sitting. Can I make out what
PT
PT's drawing?
Yeah. He is fantastic at drawing. He's got a very steady and dexterous hands, and it's pretty incredible. It's just like a few strokes of the pen, and suddenly there's an image there. We're like, how did that become an image? Like, how is that going to be an image? And then boom, it's an image. But he is drawing a floating, what looks like a floating broken city, with towers that reach up into the sky above, and it's kind of like looks like it's connected with a bunch of rock, essentially, as it's kind of drawn where it's like floating through space.
I will need to be leaving shortly, but PT, do you believe would you be okay if we spoke for a moment?
I am very good at speaking. Hear me roar.
That's an awful accidental pun he just made.
And he goes,
In more private, as best we can here.
and just like, my feelings are hurt. He gets up and starts walking away. PT will. And he's like, "You two have a good talk." PT will grab some papers, put on his little board, and point towards the room. And starts walking over there.
I will walk with him. This is PT's room.
He pointed at your room. I mean,
Okay.
you can do PT's room. That's fine. Yeah, he'll point to his room.
Okay.
Yep. As you go in there, the walls are covered in a whole bunch of different drawings and such. It looks like various knowledge planes.
Oh, I am so bad at that. 40.
So the walls are covered in almost completely covered in various drawings that are connected. Um, uh, there's like some missing spots here and there, but as he walks in, he goes and he's got like some
Push pins.
sticky stuff, I
Oh.
don't know, and sticks the paper on a
Mhm.
part that fits perfectly in like an opening there. And this looks like various like that one is a floating city and stuff in the distance. This one over here is like a rocky structure that's like looks like it's floating upside down. There's stars in the distance here. There's a whole bunch of various things of different types of architecture and whatnot, and it reminds you of the astral plane.
Yep.
And he goes and he sits down on his bed.
I must say your artwork is
Yeah, and he's doing it all with pen.
Yeah.
And like his shading and stuff is beautifully done. Like it feels, it looks like almost 3D with how well he draws it.
I must say your artwork is incredible.
Thank you. I've had a lot of time to practice.
It looks exactly like I remember. Just minus the giant face.
He writes, I am not going to add that thing to my portrait.
Do you happen
Or
to
to my
know what it
pictures.
is?
All I know is that it is older than primordial titans.
Add that to my notes. I suppose that does bring me to why I wish to speak with you. Am I right to assume you are the same one I remember? The same primordial titan?
I'm not, but I knew.
Do you know if what the gods said was true? That he was experimented on by the Syrinx?
I don't know if they experimented on him. I know they captured him.
Then, at least at some level, it was the Syrinx's fault for their own destruction.
He shakes his head as he writes, It's the primordial titans' fault. We're the ones who caused so much destruction.
And if they had not captured him, would he have done so?
His hunger would not be sated, and he would keep destroying.
Regardless, it was not the fault of those I blamed.
The world is a very complicated place. It's hard to put the blame on one thing.
And yet I did so, leading me to make choices that affected others in very negative ways. But if the gods can be people, I do not see why you cannot either.
Say that again, sorry?
If the gods can be people, I do not see why you cannot be either.
He's like, he starts writing something, then he erases it.
Mhm.
Then he starts writing, scratches that out again, and he's really debating whether or not he wants to, or what, say this thing. And then he finally writes it out. after he writes for like a minute or
Mhm.
so, and then puts out before you. I used to be just like the others, devouring endlessly, sate my hunger that could never be filled. But one that I killed was Ely, the goddess of old age. And I took that power. It humanized me, understanding mortality. I changed, eventually being what I am now. But what I wasn't human. It was a monster. I still am a monster. Just one that ran from its past. Is hiding behind a power belonging to a world that I should not be alive in.
By that own definition, I suppose I could call myself a monster. Given I have caused destruction and death in my wake, even on those who likely did not deserve it. But you have this power more than most.
He writes, he puts out circumstances. I try not to let my circumstances
Define you.
define me.
You rejected your very nature because you believed it was right. And if you are capable of such change, then hopefully so am I.
I think you are. He crosses out think and writes, no, I know you are.
Thank you, PT.
Writes, I am so sorry for what my people did to yours.
It sounds like it was not your fault. But if you can ask for forgiveness, then I shall try. Also, if I'm going to give you anything in return for all of this, my best recommendation is a better name.
As far as I know, no one else has guessed it.
I don't know how many of them have seen one up close.
How long did it take for you to realize?
The eyes gave it away. But if you had a different name, I likely would not have guessed so easily.
Knew I should have sewed my eyes shut. They haven't experienced one of my kind before, so I should be safe.
I pray they never do.
Same.
But I also hope that perhaps someday you could leave here and choose your own path, rather than this one that has been chosen for you.
I don't know what my path can should be.
I have always strongly felt that one should be able to choose their path, not have it defined by others, be they mortal, gods, or fate itself. And even if I was wrong in my beliefs, I still hold that one. You have shown incredible strength, even if by circumstances, to put yourself here. You chose to do this rather than continue the destruction.
I deeply wish that is true. Sometimes I feel as if it's the circumstances of whom I devoured that made me who I am now. But I would like to be able to be myself and choose who myself is.
I feel you have already done that. You've said so yourself. If you wish to, you could likely, as they are now, destroy much of the gods. Much of Midgard, much of Vanaheim, much of wherever you choose. And yet instead, he'll motion around the room. You chose a craft. Presumably because you enjoy it.
Yeah, understanding mortality when you're an immortal being really puts things in perspective.
So, while the circumstances may have been what led to you gaining the choice, you made the choice.
And what about you? How do those words, what do those words mean for you?
I feel I've made a lot of wrong choices. Circumstances may have played a hand in what choices I did make. At the end of the day, they were my choices. And there's more to my life than just me. And if I were to hide here for the rest of my days, I would be letting others down.
You could join them in their crusade against the gods.
I may not be as old as he is, but in a way I resonate with the Sea King. I am tired of fighting. I am tired of nothing but trying to find I'm tired of the violent option. I am aware that someone with my power and my specific magics will not be able to sit needlessly on the side. I will have to continue to fight. But I do not know if tearing the gods out of the sky is necessarily the best option anymore. And as I said with Jackson, it sounded like some of the Vanaheim brought part of this upon themselves. In some way.
Can't speak for them. They were all I know is they were in a very difficult position.
Circumstances forced their hand.
Scratch out those words.
It's hard when you're reading it. You basically just spoke it out loud as you read it. Um, but I still believe they had a choice. So did the gods when they forced the Vanaheim under their Veneer under their thumb. They made that choice because they were wary of the Veneer, and as a result, there is now a realm that hates them. I feel my hate for the gods was misguided, but they are not the infallible beings they set themselves up as.
I've learned that no one in this world is infallible, no matter how high of a pedestal they're put up on.
I've met a couple that come pretty close.
That's awesome to hear.
If you should ever meet him, the current god of death is a rather nice person.
I have had minor interactions with him when people have passed from old age. So, doesn't happen that often anymore. Magic, ending lives, and war ending.
Hopefully we get to a place where that is no longer the case. And perhaps you could write to him.
So this is goodbye then?
Maybe. Possible I will see you again.
And I will see you later.
Thank you.
Remember, don't let your circumstances define who you are.
And
wish the same for me.
I will. And may you choose the path you want. And may it be a worthy one.
Thank you.
And with that, Speaker will head out into the main room again to wait for Jackson to show up.
Alright. Jackson shows up later.
Actually, let me see. Do I have anything I could leave with PT? Where's my inventory? You want some money?
Man, you don't think PT was super creative with his name?
Nathan, if he did, like I said, if he didn't have that name, I honestly might not have even guessed. But that name really gives it away.
Maybe it could be anything. It's like maybe Peter Tom or I don't know.
Perhaps it'll give him some inspiration. Speaker's going to leave him with a map of the astral plane.
The way you mapped out?
Yep. Way back when. A map that's been made over years.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely want to draw that.
Yep. I feel like that's a fitting one.
Yeah.
It's better than just a random trinket.
Well, thank you for that. I can, so you're gonna go do something risky?
I've spent my entire life doing that. I'm not exactly about to stop now.
Hopefully it doesn't catch up to you. Take care of yourself, Speaker.
And you as well.
Uriel will just kind of
Give a short nod.
Bergam will yell curses at you and do more incantations trying to make you drop dead. Yeah.
I hope that works out.
And with that, you and Jackson head on out.
Yep. Do.
All right. You're sure you want to do this?
Yes.
All right. Plug in if you haven't. This should wrap up in just a little bit here. All right, so, you guys do the warp and teleportation, to the edge of Nine Odi. Staying outside of range is, you'll actually see the big old freaking Kraken. Yeah, you can fit in its pupil.
That's a big boy.
Yeah, he's a big boy. Actually, he might be bigger than I don't know. Primordians can like be a whole mountain, taller mountain. So, he's a big boy. But yeah, Jackson will go into town with you while the others will be on standby. He's the quick note. Sudril. We can wrap up here shortly. Basically, he's actually the son. He's one of the sons of the Sea King and Maris. Actually, I said Sudril. Maris is one of the sons of the Sea King and of Sudril.
Mars?
Yeah, Maris. He's got like long flowing brown hair, tan body, and his legs are mostly. He's a human, fairly human looking, but his legs are kind of scaly and have some like fins on them, whatever. But he's a pretty jovial guy, and he's kind of like, "All right, you ready to do this?" He's like all enthusiastic and like, "All right, so we're this is what the plan was gonna be. We're gonna get you in there, and Jackson is going in with you. You guys are gonna be all careful, stealthy like. I think you can do invisible stuff, right?"
I can.
Yeah, so you're doing your invisible stuff on both you guys so that you can be remain on to stay far away from and out of the sight of any dragons. If things go horribly wrong, Jackson will shoot a big old fireball up into the sky. If that happens, we will help to reinforce you in that position. And if you're not able to teleport out, which apparently is something you can do, we'll have Kraken Boy to draw a lot of attention and potentially just reach out a really long tentacle and grab and pull you guys into the ocean.
Very well.
Alrighty, sound good? Jackson's just like, I thought I was leading this. I mean, you were and you are. I mean, you are. Sorry. Yeah. Anyway, all right, you ready? With that word is like he's been asked that 3 or 4 times now. Hey, are you ready?
I suddenly changed my mind in the last 2 questions.
Ah, dang, I guess we're going back. And with that, you guys teleport to the other end. You guys come to the surface of the water a ways away from the city. You see the docks there, damaged, half destroyed, and they're sinking battleships, like massive warships belonging to the Vikings that spewed about. Only one that isn't destroyed that's at the docks. You see flying above, you can't tell what time of day would be, because you went about that. So it's probably actually like early morning-ish. The sun is rising, and you see up above in the sky a Was it blue? Yeah, a dark blue dragon. Pretty big. Not, and he's kind of like circling around up top. You don't see any sign of the other dragon, and you hear commotion and stuff coming from the town. So he'll Jackson will swim with you up to the to the beach or whatever, and start pulling up. He's like, okay, let's do this so we don't get seen going in. How long does it last for?
Not. I believe it's minutes per level. So, where is my invisibility? Where is disappear? It's a second level. There it is. 1 round per caster level, because of course it does.
Oh,
I can double that, but
let's wait then. Because
okay.
you guys have to go up the beach. The city itself isn't on the beach side. It's like a couple minutes in. So first you guys have to go the first leg of your journey without, unless you're wanting to cast on both you multiple times.
Not really.
Okay.
I can't use unseen shell, but that doesn't follow us, which is the problem.
Go ahead and roll a stealth then.
Is it
That
dark?
was a dead roll. It just, huh?
Is it dark?
No. Sun is rising.
You're ready for me to roll my stealth with a +1.
All right.
How far is it to the temple from where we currently are?
You're not sure. It's within the city limits, so you can't see it.
Oh, okay. 10. I am not stealthy.
As you guys are moving along, there's someone who shouts out, and go ahead and use 2 invisibilities, one for you and one for Jackson.
Yep.
As you guys almost get detected, he's like, quick, make us visible. And so you guys go invisible to make it so you aren't detected as you guys move closer. Someone on one of the walls to the town, like looking over there, like calling out. Do you speak Norse?
Nope.
Okay, you don't understand anything they're saying then. Jackson kind of whisper like, okay, they think they might have seen someone, but they're not sure because it looked like a big bird. So
That's coming in handy at least.
yeah. But you guys make it to the edge of the city before it drops, and like, okay, so we need to get over the wall. It's a wooden wall that's about, or we need to find a damage point. It's a wooden wall that's about 15 or so feet tall. So it's not hard to get on.
How like tightly packed is this wall?
Like, can you see through it? Essentially, no, you can't. You can't see through to the other side. At least not here. Like I said, you can like go around, go around the outside to try to find, a damaged area or something. This place was in conflict. We can go invisible and go over and around, or try to find a damaged area to get through.
Your method of flight isn't exactly subtle.
No, I would have to climb.
Or I can give you flight. That would also work.
Or if you're wanting to do make us invisible and then also fly.
Would you prefer a damage wall?
It might be better. It'll just take a little bit more time, but that should be fine.
Play it safe.
Okay. Roll another stuff.
18.
All right. So as you guys are moving along, there is like another shout. It's like, oh, I think they saw your head. Yeah, there's someone yelling about a massive owl. Okay. You put invisibility on yourself again.
I'm gonna run out of me.
But you guys are able to move along the wall as people shouting, looking over there, and now people are It's like, okay, now they're kind of like wondering if there's a dragon around that looks more like a bird. They have no idea what the frick you are. Now they're having an argument about whether or not birds walk like that.
Interesting.
Hey, you being a weird freak of nature, according to them,
Yeah. That's 100% something he would say.
is working out in our benefit.
Great.
Hey, there's an opening. You just need to be able to see through.
Yes.
See through.
I will see through. Does there appear to be anyone nearby? See through of 26.
You don't seem to see any people directly around. Directed like the other side of the wall.
I can't see anyone.
Okay, so I still have to like climb over the wall though. Can't really fit in, are you?
And I cast Dimension Hop.
Yeah, on both of them.
Yep. I'll use 2 casts of it rather than spinning a higher level slot. So we just pop on the other side. Yeah. Couple hundred feet. That's what I was saying. If we can get close enough to the temple, we can just peer in there. Actually, scratch that. I can do closer to 1,000.
We got on top of a building here. We'd be able to see where it is, but then we'd be exposed. But
All
I
right.
don't know how many of those invisibilities you have. You might need them to get out as well.
Yeah. Although if we have to get out, being seen isn't as big of a deal. Well,
If you make us invisible, then we can get up there and I can point it out to you.
let's find a building first.
Okay.
Let's
This
see.
one actually should be. It's not
I
that-
cast Unseen Shell with boosted size, so we have a giant radius where we're just invisible for the next
Okay.
15 minutes.
Oh, thank goodness I rolled that. I forgot Jackson doesn't have any strength. Jackson is able to climb up to the top, just meeting the DC on the dice. And you can just easily just fly and land up there. He'll point it out. Oh, it's like over there. That's the roof of it. It is a it is a stone structure here that's probably about, it's a little bit taller than the other buildings here. There's a skylight on it where light shines down into the structure. That's it right there. We could either just teleport us like building next to it or something like that. Right over there should be good.
I will go ahead and cast 2 spells. First, boosted, selected, disappear to make us both invisible at the same time.
Okay.
And then boosted, selected, lengthy, dimension hop to give us 800 feet range.
Okay.
Closer to 900. Above 900, actually.
All right, I'll put you guys right by next to there and easily goes over.
Slip inside.
You guys easily go to the door and it is unlocked as you open it up and slip inside. There is nobody inside. Currently completely empty. He leads you through down chamber to into a chamber. Dark in there, and he snaps his fingers as flames appear on like on his thumb, and he starts lighting some candles and torches and such with it. And here is it's a small room, like maybe like 5 foot by 10 foot. Just a little area to like sit or kneel or lay down or something like that. And set up in here is a small thing on the wall where it has a image of Heimdall, a carving. doesn't, have all of his features, but of a tall, strong, stoic individual, and the eyes are painted to be a piercing yellow. And here is places to burn, basically like incense of some kind or small animals. And like, okay, so I brought a fish to offer him. I don't really. It's just to get to it.
You said he can see traces of people, right?
Yeah.
Speaker will pluck a loose feather and put it on the altar before
Take the fish back and put it in
casting spark to light it.
He literally has like
A pocket with fish.
and he puts the fish in the pocket. I'll come back for you later.
So he will light the feather. Then he will kneel on his knees. Wait for a moment as it burns down. And say, I'm dull. I am aware that I am not one deserving of your help right now. But I've spent my entire life blinded by my own hatred for what was, I presumed, done to me. And it has led me down a path where I have only become what I thought others were. That has, instead of bringing the world to a better place, a world where the few I care about could live and prosper, I have only hastened its destruction. I do not know if you believe me worthy of redemption, conversation, assistance, guidance, but I wish to ask for one last chance to be shown a path that does not end in death for once.
The eyes of the figure glow as you feel his presence upon you. Normally, you wouldn't know if he was looking at you. He was paying attention to you.
Now it's really obvious.
He wants you to know that he is watching you. You will hear a voice within your mind. Speak what is in your show what it is. Show who you truly
I have spent my entire life believing myself a sword to fight the enemies of those I care about. But instead, it has led me to become a cudgel. One who picks only the easy and violent option, which has resulted in death for not just those who deserve it, but for those who don't. It has led me to this path now where I believe were I to continue, not only would I end in the Sea of Blades, but those I care for would never be able to return, never have the life that they deserve. I wish to be what they think of me, what they believe I can be. This person capable of bringing change for the better, not just destruction.
What if, for that to come to pass, you must suffer the consequences for your actions? Would you do it? Would you go down that path?
Yes. To do otherwise would only continue the constant cycle of hatred. Revenge after revenge has done nothing but soak the ground in blood.
I wish the endless revenge cycle.
And if that is what must if I must give this up in order for that to happen, I shall.
Back. I will not let the anger of a widow or the wrath of a daughter decide the fate of you and your opinions. I judge what is in the heart. I judge in the choices of what people have made, the choices that they are striving to make. Determine what truly is guilty and what punishment would be best for the individual. If you are trusting of me enough to come to my altar, speak with me, then trust me in this. Return to your command.
All I will ask in return for doing so is that if I am judged to be deserving of death, that something be done to rescue those who are still stranded.
You have my word.
And he will look behind him to Jackson.
So, did you just I only heard one side of the conversation. It sounds like you're wanting to go be judged or something. You really gonna go back? Go to him?
I have been entrusted with the survival of my species
Mm-hmm.
and the survival of the few I care about.
Mm-hmm.
I do not wish for what remains of the Shrinks to be cast in the same light as that of the Veneer. They do not deserve it.
I'll kill members of them. Like, they're not gonna just push that to the side. Like, you're really okay with going back and possibly just dying instead of fighting.
I have spent my entire life fighting.
Because
And
if we don't, then other people will have to.
I'm not going to stop fighting. But I do not think it is my decision whether the gods should live or fall. I do not believe all of them deserve the position they have, but given what I have done, it is not my choice to make.
Well, if that's what you want. You change your mind. You know how to reach me.
Even if they accept my penance in return for your help, I will not act against Vanaheim.
Cool. Didn't even know that was something that was on your mind of possibly doing.
It wasn't. That's
Okay.
why I stated that.
Okay, well now you got me a little insecure questioning, you know? But thanks.
Hopefully someday we will meet under better circumstances.
Well, unless people strive to take action against those who abuse their power, I doubt we will meet under better circumstances.
I will still hope regardless.
Well, can you give me a little bit of that invisibility before you go away then? Like, I'm gonna get back a bit easier. You know? Because I assume you're just gonna leave here, aren't you?
It would be easiest.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
I will give Jackson, let's see, invisibility, accelerate. Yeah, those are the only two that really make him any faster.
Ooh, nice.
It only lasts for rounds, but it should let him.
Does accelerate only affect the ground movement?
No, it gives you another move action.
Oh, is that
That's
what
the accelerate does. That's a second level spell, baby.
Shoot, I could get out of here like right away then. Oh, wait, if I jet out, then they'll see all the flames.
I give him soar. There you go. Merry Christmas.
Oh, okay.
Now he can fly.
I'm a leaf on the wind. Watch how I.
Wasting precious seconds.
Oh, right. True. Okay, goodbye.
And
Don't do anything stupid.
I believe I already am. But that hasn't stopped me before. And Speaker will cast teleport to... Let's go with Aidbold's office.
Alrighty.
I feel that's the least likely option for me getting murdered.
And that's when we're in the session.
I will see if I survive next. I have to show up now.
I mean, you already said you were going to show up.
Yeah, well, because it was supposed to be tomorrow before it got delayed again. It actually wasn't because I'm going to be very busy this weekend. So
Oh, okay.
I was going to hang out with Maria a bit.
Alrighty. So, favorite moment, favorite NPC, what do you think's going to happen next?
I mean, favorite NPC is PT, 100%. I mean, my favorite moment was kind of more personal because when I recognized what PT was, I was like, dang, of all the people. But I have to give it to Jackson. He was surprisingly helpful.
He's grown a lot in the past couple hundred years.
Like combined with what the Sea King has said, Jackson is like a weirdly good person while trying to murder all the gods.
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, he fully believes he's doing what's right. He's not doing it for revenge or anything else.
They're jerks and they need to be taken down.
Yeah, it's because he thinks it would make the world a better place.
Like, when talking to James about the towers and people sacrificing stuff, he was like, "Yeah, I want to go and sacrifice something. Like, if someone can't do it, I want to go there and I want to do it." And he was ready to make the sacrifices on the towers
Yep.
as well. He doesn't agree with Seg with the way they do things and whatnot, but like he's cares about the people and he's doing everything he can to make the world a better place for him. And he believes that it's better if the gods' power was given to the earth and into
I mean,
the world
they
instead
make-
of them wielding it.
They make a very convincing argument. Like the idea, like it's not even just them killing the gods. It's the fact that they're like, yeah, we're not killing them to kill them. We're killing them because they refuse to give up their power. And if we give it back to the world keeps on ticking. And now you don't have people with extraordinary power sitting over it.
Mm-hmm.
The one thing that is making Speaker question things is the fact that the gods are also one of the first defenses against.
Yeah, he
Hog.
said that they have decreased. They haven't really been killing recently.
It's just us.
He's like, you've killed like 6. Your group and the
To
other
be fair, my group's
NPC
only
groups.
responsible for 4.
4, yeah.
Those were on purpose. Weirdly. Actually, I don't know about Amelia. She might have done it on purpose. Actually, no. She was putting him out of his misery.
Yeah, so, favorite one was that? Favorite NPC?
What's going to happen next? Oh my gosh, I don't know. Considering Heimdall is apparently the one doing the judging, I think Speaker has a shot. A fairly good one. And because Heimdall's also the one who saw why the group fought Thor, why Thor started the fight, and all this whatnot, I think overall the group's going to be okay. The only maybes is Cyrus and Amelia. I think Onda is a good enough person that he's going to be okay, especially considering that he was one of the few who got a god power and then did his literal best to wield it responsibly. Oberon really feels like the guy who kind of got caught up in everything and he's just like doing his best.
Yeah.
That's really what Oberon feels like. And Jack is so much of a goody two-shoes, I feel like he's going to be fine. Jack's only crime, in my opinion, was doing a really bad job of trying to get people to stop fighting.
Yeah, he didn't do a great job with that. And then also
Before and after Thor died.
using his god's power to enhance all of you and help you kill better.
Yeah, that was...
There's that.
Yeah.
Awesome. Alrighty. Well, Shirone,
Better than I thought.